right. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to y'all. This is High Priestess Jamila. I hope that everybody is doing good or doing well. I really don't have a lot of time. In fact, let me close my door because I don't want to be disturbed. And kind of also want my son to sleep for like a few more hours. And he will. Um, so obviously I can't really say too much for this discussion today, but I want to talk to you guys about the power of the mind and how powerful your mind is in manifesting your everyday life, manifesting your outcomes, manifesting life, manifesting things that you want. And also, we're going to talk about how that can be obviously exploited and taken advantage of. And so for some reason, I thought about the serenity prayer. And this is the shorter version. I think it says, God grant me the serenity for things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You know how I think of that? I also think of that as choosing your battles as well. So, for example, if you love and you value yourself and you got some, hey, Black Karma, hey, how you doing? And you got somebody that possibly doesn't love or value themselves. And, they may be calling you names, calling you out of your name, maybe trying to shame you for the way that you look. Um, and they're totally off. And so, you can either choose to listen and believe in those things, or you cannot, because I'm not a good listener when it comes to my enemies. I'm not. I'm a great listener, but when it comes to my enemies, I don't hear nothing they saying. I'm gonna talk about that too, and how if you're a psychic sensitive or an empath, you can be drawn into believing anything, which will sort of turn you into a puppet for somebody else, and then they will have the ability to basically master your mind instead of you being the master of your own mind. And so, you know, there's a huge debate about whether or not we should practice witchcraft or not. I think that we should. I think that it's all good. But I think that serenity prayer is also telling you to choose your battles, because there's a difference between somebody that says something about you and it kind of blows in the wind. It blows out of one ear and out of the other. There's a difference between somebody saying something to you from them chanting it every single day, or lighting candles, or putting some kind of power behind it so that they can actually manifest that for you in your mind and in your life. So, for example, if someone is jealous of you and they're jealous of the things that you have, uh, they may chant every single day, you ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing. And if you're listening to that and your mind is absorbing that, then eventually, it could affect your pockets. Same difference when it comes to perception. Perception is reality, in my opinion, and it's all about your perception. So if every single day somebody gets up and tells you how stupid you are or how ugly you are, then you may start to believe that about yourself. And then it just kind of carries forth. And then because you have accepted that perception, then the entire world will somewhat accept that perception, like a majority, or like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to know when to fight and when to not fight. So, for example, if let's say that, you know, you let's bring this up real quick. Let's say that you weigh 150 pounds and you may have a little junk in your trunk. But then you got somebody chanting every single day and they're saying it out of their mouths and they're saying, oh, you're fat. You're big and fat. Oh, God, you're so fat. And you're like, what are you talking about? I wear a size 11, 12. I'm good with the way that I look. But then other people start saying, you looking a little fat there. I don't know. And then the next thing you know, you have some sort of body dysmorphic disorder and you don't know who you are. So if somebody is intentionally trying to change your perception of self and then trying to change other people's perception, then that's when you can choose to fight. And then it's also about how you fight. For example, I don't like to waste my breath, so I just do my work, okay? My spiritual work, so that it doesn't affect me or people that are relevant to me. And so I think that serenity prayer has a lot to do with that. And so we have a dark moon in Gemini coming up. We're actually in that energy right now. And so for my peeps that are, needing guidance or whatever, I think that it's also important for you to check what's in your head, what's in your mind about self in your life, and protect yourself. So, for example, if you are an empath, somebody would say, well, I can affect the way that this person feels by doing what? Communicating something to them. And I'm going to affect their mood or, whatever else I want to affect, Um, if you are a telepathic person, okay, this is where you have to really, really watch out. A lot of your spiritual gifts can be used to do harm to you. So it's not just for telepaths, it's also for people who have the gift of telekinesis. I think we all have that gift, but I think that in some of us, it's stronger than others. So, for example, if you're somebody that is a manifester, like if you can make, uh, a communication from somebody appear, or if you can manifest a bike, or if you can manifest a house, really that is the energy of telekinetics, because you are basically turning thought into solid matter, right? So that's the whole consensus of manifestation. Most of you, especially those of you that watch me, you have manifested with very powerful gifts of all of these things, which is how you're able to be an entrepreneur, because you're able to move those things close to you or next to you. Okay. And even sometimes people, you can move people close to you. Okay. And so that's a good thing, right? But then you got other entities who work through people, or just people, um, that, they will use certain messages. So if you're a telepath and you have a really, really sensitive mind, you have to really, really be careful, because people or other entities, they can control you through your telepathic gifts. They can control what you think about all day, um, how certain things look to you, how your future outcome looks to you. They can control that. And so this is the reason why, traditionally when you see witches, they'll have a skull or a skull candle, and they can program that skull candle depending on how experienced they are. They can control what you think about. And what you think about is going to shape every single day. And I believe that this is going to be a huge heavy hitter, especially with this new moon coming up. People that want to do baneful magic to you, they're going to work through your mind. So it's going to be important for you to protect your heads. In fact, everything is coming from the mind, everything that you manifest. So, for example, if you have a blockage, okay, and you feel like, oh God, my money is blocked and somebody blocking me. Well, the first thing that you want to do is you want to work on your head, okay, because it can be a subconscious blockage. That's cool, Black Karma. Thank you. Yeah, I knew somebody needed to hear this. Probably a lot of y'all. So, the thing of it is that people don't want to actually believe that, but a person can actually puppeteer you a lot going in through the mind. And that's why you have to cover and protect the conscious as well as the subconscious and the unconscious mind. So this is what I noticed, is that that's how they're keeping a lot of people in mental prisons. And that's how you can fix a condition. Any condition can be fixed that way. And that's how they do it. So, for example, you don't have to be talking to a person for them to send you these messages or unseen. People can even convince you that you're sick or you're dying by using telepathic messages. And this doesn't have to come from a person that has the gift of telepathy. You will have that gift of telepathy, and they can work certain baneful workings to do that. Why, I don't know. Maybe they may feel that it's tons of different reasons why a person would do that. Um, but I think it's important for y'all to pay attention to that as well. And depending on who you are, like for example, I'm a Cancer on the cusp of Gemini, and then my Mercury is in Gemini, my Lilith is in Gemini, and then I have uh, one other of my placements that have Gemini in it. So even though, it kind of works like that snake that's eating the end of its tail, it's like that makes me a very powerful person within itself. But then again, on the flip side, it can be a weakness. So sometimes your greatest strengths can end up being your weakness. So I have to be careful whenever something is going on, that I have to remember that my mind rules everything over everything. And that's the case for everybody. But like, depending on what is like dominant in your chart, so you really have to know yourself. And so a lot of times, hey, one EQ, hello. So a lot of times you have to, because believe it or not, there are some people that they cannot clear their mind. And if you can't clear your mind, then it's going to be very difficult for you to control yourself as well as the situation that is happening around you, which sometimes you can't always control the people around you. You can only control yourself. And so having that power over your own mind is very important. For example, if you say, sometimes when you say, oh, somebody done cursed me, somebody, because this ain't going right or that ain't going right. Well, more than likely they may have, but they're using the mind. This is one of the reasons why there's certain people that I don't allow access to me. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain people that, they can be a challenge, but you have to be up for the challenge. And if you're thinking all these weird thoughts or having these weird dreams, and then sometimes you can even feel disconnected from your body, you're not supposed to feel that way. All of it works together. Your mind, your body, as well as your spirit. If you are feeling that way, it could be somebody that is working on that, and because they go for the head. And if they can get your head, then they can control your throat, they can control your heart, they can control everything. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we go towards this dark moon. This is going to be something that, well, they've already been doing that. This is something that your adversaries have already been doing. And so a lot of the times, the people that don't like you, they know you sometimes better than you know yourself. So if your mind is open, that's a good thing. But then again, it can be used to send all kinds of messages and ideas to your consciousness. And so you do have to protect that area. You have to protect your whole mind, but that area of the mind. This is why there's certain people that are more susceptible to mind control. Empaths and telepaths are more susceptible to mind control than anything. People that are telekinetic, they are more susceptible to sicknesses and diseases. So if you're somebody that has those enchantments and gifts, that's great. But you have to watch yourself. You have to watch yourself. Like, for example, I couldn't imagine using those gifts to do anything but manifest the things that I want. I mean, I'm not going to use those gifts to do harm to people. But there are some people that do have those gifts and they will use them. And, but then again, there's, a lot of times your enemies and adversaries, they're actually jealous of you because for some reason, either, God, the hierarchy, granted you the ability to use those gifts. And maybe they may have had those gifts, or or maybe they're too afraid, to use those gifts for the betterment of their life. So then that's why they will attack you. Okay. So and it is very parasitic, especially when they're and that's exactly what they're doing, especially when you see them using these skull candles and stuff, and so there are ways that you can deal with that. It's actually one of the most simplest things to deal with, but the problem is that when somebody has gotten in your head, you're more than likely going to listen to that negativity before you can listen to somebody that's trying to tell you how to stop it. And see, that's the issue sometimes. Okay. So, and unless you have somebody there for you that cares enough to, kind of force the horse to drink the water, then you'll just be lost and you can be led into all kinds of crap. So watch your head. In fact, I got my cards, y'all, and I've been trying to learn how to use those Gypsy tarot cards. I've been kind of, practicing with them. And but when I go live, like I'm getting ready to go on Amazon right now, and I'm about to order different color head wraps for my head. Okay. And then also protection. I would advise you guys to, especially after you smudge your houses, to make a salt mix. Mix pink. Like I've got 5 different salts. I've got iodized salt, pink Himalayan. I've got Mediterranean sea salt, uh, kosher salt, and it was one other one that I have. Did I already say pink Himalayan? I'm going to mix all those salts together and make sure that you guys are covering the doorways of your house. This includes closets, corners, and the front and back doors of your house. And I would do it. I'm going to do it sometime today to cover my house so that, people can't send that stuff, and so that I don't have to try to, because a lot of people sleep with something wrapped around their head. For me, for some reason, when I go to sleep, I don't know if I subconsciously wake up and take it off, but I ain't never been able to keep a head wrap around my head while I sleep. But I think that it is important to do that because people can either try to steal your consciousness or either just mess up your consciousness. Because some people just like to see other people suffer for whatever reason. They like to see you going through it. They like to, know that they can control you. For some reason, that makes them feel good, because I don't know why somebody would, because I could see in spirit certain people just for hours and hours and hours on end, actually looking inside of your head and trying to plant ideas in there. And so that's why in all of my protection, I make sure that people can't do that. Like, I don't want people being able to access my subconscious mind so that they can, make me either, because have y'all ever had a dream about something that just didn't seem right? And it's like, well, that didn't, because I have prophetic dreams that come straight from my spirit guides. But I had this one dream, this was like a year ago, and it was real crazy, like real crazy. And I was like, and I asked my spirit guides, I said, did y'all send me that dream? And they said, no, somebody's doing dream magic on you. And if they're doing dream magic on you, then you better believe that they're trying to control your head. And it's not for the betterment. It's very different from if a lover wants you to dream of them, and they want you to think about them, you know what I'm saying, and you want to be with that person. This person is trying to induce nightmares into your head so that your life can literally be a nightmare. So they got like it's tons of videos on YouTube that, but I'd say do the work as well. Okay, do the work as well. And see, this is for the people, like a lot of people say, well, your enemies are going to use this information. Not really, because the enemies and the adversaries, they're so focused on you. They want you to focus on their words, their thoughts, their consciousness, to where they can control you. No, focus on you in your head. I clear my head of all of that. And I use candles and crystals and even water. If you guys want more personalized advice and coaching, you guys know you can always reach me. Um, I am going to be accepting 3 or 4 new students because I got one student that's going to come back. I got 2 students that are going to be making their way back. So I'll be taking 4 more students for the month of June. And it's not as simple as people think it is. That's just like when people, if you don't really know how to practice witchcraft, right? Because a lot of people will look at witchcraft and they'll say, oh, I want to do this. But then when they do it, it's like, this is harder than what I thought. Because it's all about connecting the mind, the spirit, the body, and the mind. It's all about connecting that in order to manifest that. Manifesting is not as easy like as people thought it was. So that's why a lot of people will have, spells that don't work. And there's all sorts of ways that people can do harm to you. Like I said, um, I was talking about this the other day, how people want to send in tranquil spirits to you. And sometimes it can take them uh, up to a year or 2 or 3 to send in a tranquil spirit to you, which means that, evidently their intent is traveling, at the speed of a turtle, and so there's certain things that you can do to speed that up. Like for me, I ain't got years and years to be doing that. I ain't got time for that. If I got to deal with somebody, I'm dealing with you now. But see that I'm not going to talk about how I do that. And see, a lot of people, but like I don't know, like people be thinking that I be thinking about them, and it's like, well, I ain't thinking about you. I'm thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's weird that people do that because and those people don't really know their enemy. They don't really know what they're dealing with. So it is very powerful information that you get, and even more information when you do take the classes. And so some people don't want to take classes. They're like, just, do the work for me. And a lot of the times what I'm doing is, especially when I'm doing cleanses, or any kind of money manifestation work, I'm actually working on that person's mind, because I do work with a lot of business owners in order to increase their business, right? So, you got to remove those blockages, and those blockages are factually in the mind. And for example, if somebody is very negative and they're saying very negative things to you, don't listen to them. See, I can hear somebody saying something negative, but that don't mean I'm listening. So I can do that. I've mastered that. Like, I can hear you, but I just, it's like it rolls off your shoulders real quick. Um, and so that's why it's important to, you know, think where I'm getting this from is definitely Mercury and the god Hermes, and then among other gods that I've been getting a lot of my wisdom from, because you know, don't let other people change your perception of yourself. Or you know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? And see, and I don't listen to people that are talking negatively about me. But I know that some people do listen to it, and then and it's like, well, I'm not listening. So, even if I hear it, I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, really? Like, right, sure. So, you just gotta, once you master your own mind, which, it's not as easy as people think it is. It really isn't it. It really isn't. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And that goes for everything across the board: love, money, health, you know what I'm saying? Appearance, weight loss, things of that nature. So, anyway, that was the discussion. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you are new to the channel, make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button. And I'm really trying to figure out how to get all of the features of Zoom. I'm not able to record any of my meetings, and so I got to contact their customer service department. But um, that's where I hold all of my classes and even some of my even some of my readings. Okay. And so you guys can contact me because hearing the words that I'm saying is kind of like, you know, uh it's kind of like, okay, what is she talking about? But actually, getting the mind to accept it is one other thing. Because all of us at some point in our lives, especially growing up, we grew up with certain subconscious mind control that was naturally in our environment, with our parents and grandparents and stuff like that. So, you know, and I think that a lot of people assume that the older that you get, you start to get slower, and it's actually not true. So a lot of people do believe in things that they were taught, things that need to be let go of. So if you guys need to reach me, y'all know where I'm at. I hope that y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to try to come back later on and do some readings. I may have to, because I'm doing a feast for my goddesses and stuff. And I forgot to order flowers. I need to order flowers. So I'm going to be doing that today. And I may come and show you guys, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe not, I don't know. Because it's too much. Oh, another thing, this information that I'm telling you can absolutely protect you from the evil eye. It protects you from the evil eye as well. The information that I just gave you. Okay. Yeah, I need to figure out all of their features though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna try to get that figured out for the weekend is up. Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to let y'all know that, and I will be seeing y'all later. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell notifier, hit that thumbs up, and I'll check y'all later, okay? Or I'll catch y'all later. Okay, all right. Have a wonderful day. Blessings.